9 minutes after 1 o'clock. Welcome to it. It is your favorite hip hop playground. It is the element on the rocking, real, and relevant Massive Metro. We have got a whole lot going on today. Happy Freedom Day to you and you and you, and a happy hip hop day to all of the hip hop heads. Now, normally on Freedom Day, we would be heading out to back to the city. However, because of the lockdown, we have to do things a little bit differently. Now, last week they announced that there's going to be this huge producer battle that's going to be happening tonight at 7 p.m. on BackToTheCrib.com. And then today, Osmic and the rest of the team announced that there is so much more that is going to be happening. Now, I'm speaking to all of the producers that are going to be going head to head tonight. So I'm speaking to Dome, Thasman, Omen, Amu, Nyambz, and Battlekat. But I'm also speaking to the man behind the magic that would be Osmic. And we kickstart with him right now. Back to the city online. Hashtag back to the crib, because that is where we are going to be enjoying everything from. Kicking it off with Osmic, the man behind the magic, at 10 minutes after 1 o'clock right here on The Element on Massive Metro. Today is the 27th of April, Freedom Day for the country. But if you are a hip hop head, it is also Back to the City Day. But today's got a twist, so we're taking it back to the crib. And I've got Osmic Menoe on the line, the man behind the magic, to let me know exactly what is going down. What's poppin', Oz?
How you guys doing? How you doing and how you feel?
I feel very excited. I feel a bit anxious, and I just feel good though. I think it's really, really dope, because for me, I was worried. I was like, oh my God, what is Freedom Day without Back to the City?
Well, we decided then to make a little plan about that. Basically at some point in time, we were actually not going to do anything, because we were all like in the same kind of a somber mood, like, it is what it is. And then we decided, you know what, for the hell of it, man, let's attempt a miracle, you know?
Okay, so what is this miracle?
Well, it's a very long lineup here. Like, basically, this is very ambitious what we're doing. This is one of those, like, if you win big. If you fail big. One of those scenarios. And I think we did it because we're just like, I don't know if there's anyone that has done something like this at the moment. But some people in the States have been trying. I mean, the lineup is like, there's Casper, Touchline, Big Zulu, Ginger Trill, Zagwe, Gigi Lamaine, AB Crazy, Lolo Vando, Len Mark, DJ Ready D, DJ Delta One, a guy from Italy, C Live, Azul, Spontaneous, P Carter, The Cut, DJ Jaws, Tony Touch from America, DJ Scratch from America, Sky Zoo, Peter Rosenberg, Fabulous. It's an ambitious plan.
It sounds very ambitious. So what exactly are we talking about? Because I thought we were just going to be plugging in on BackToTheCityFestival.com and enjoying an epic battle of, the greatest producers of this country.
Well, it's supposed to be that until we said, but we figured the technology of doing the producers, right?
Right.
But how much we add more elements to it, and then let's take it to the max. Let's see where it takes us, and that's how we ended up with this. So with the producers, we sort of figured how to do everything, and also our biggest thing was how do we do it with better sound than everyone, because looking at all the other different sort of things that have been happening online.
Mm-hmm.
The shortfalls have been sound, mostly.
Yeah.
So we needed to say, cool, how do we give a better experience in terms of sound? So the other day we had an online thing that I think about 600 people got to tune in and watch us talk for 6 hours on Facebook. We were live for 6 hours on Facebook. It was crazy because the things that we were able to do with this technology were just amazing, to a point where even got a call from SABC One saying, okay, how do we get this on our platforms?
Yeah.
Because it was live, it was like 2 a.m, and we had people from Def Jam popping up, on our video chat. You know, we had artists from LA popping up. You know, it was just crazy, you know. So the minute we figured that, we said, okay, cool. You know, let's challenge ourselves a little bit further. Let's see what we can, how further we can stretch this, and that's what brings us to what we're trying to do now.
All right, so I know that the producers battle is happening this evening at 7 p.m., right?
Mm-hmm.
And then all this other stuff that you just put us on game about, featuring
so
some of the big names.
We're gonna start with, so you know, generally we've got the workshops program.
Yes.
In the morning, so we're gonna start with those. We're gonna start with these conversations. So we've got DJ Ken Zero speaking to Tony Touch in the States. Mm-hmm. We've got Kenny also talking to DJ Scratch, the legendary DJ Scratch. We've got Ammunition interviewing Sky Zoo. We've got Kenny speaking to Peter Rosenberg. I mean, everyone knows him from Hard 97. Mm-hmm. And we've got Fat Pack talking to Fabulous, you know. And the crazy thing is we're supposed to get even more. Supposed to get Jada Kids, but time is what's killed us, you know. That we had time. So basically, had we had time, we would have had the people that we just missed out on because of it's our fault. We would have had Jada Kids, we would have had Just Blaze.
What?
Yeah, but we'll get them on the flip side.
So with all of this happening today, then what is left for Back to the City that's supposed to happen in October?
Well, it's once again, it gets more crazier and crazier. There's, you know, the ideas usually is always to how do we bring something fresher, you know, and how do we also just challenge ourselves, because yes, we've proven for a long time we could pull large crowds by also doing alternative stuff, because you must remember, this festival is not a rap festival, it's a hip-hop festival. And you need to keep in mind that, technically speaking, there's only one hip-hop festival. Because when we say hip-hop festival, it needs to consist of all hip-hop elements.
And it is absolutely amazing. So what time do these new festivities kick off?
From 2 o'clock, we start with the interviews and stuff. So we'll do like interviews, and then we'll go into like a performance. We'll go into some, we call them shout-outs. We've got quite a lot of shout-outs, like MEC Mbali from Department of Sports, Arts, Culture and Recreation sent us a message. Dr. Sipho Stola sent us a message. You know, Bad Boy T, Minister Natim Teta from Department and Culture sent us a message. So in between, we're having also one of those sort of messages of support.
Yeah.
And this is obviously support speaking to the hip hop community, you know.
And where's all of this happening? Where do we plug in?
So this is all live on www.BackToTheCrib.com. It's also live on www.slipperonlive.co.za, right? Mm-hmm. And it's also live on our Facebook pages. So Back to the City Festival on Facebook.
I think that's really, really dope. I mean, we were just excited for the big producer battle, but now you're bringing us all of this. So all we can say is thank you so much, Oz. And we really, really appreciate everything that you continue to do for the culture. And we're definitely going to be there.
Peace, love, and respect.
So you plugged into the rocking, real and relevant Massive Metro. This is The Element, all for the love of hip-hop. And today being Freedom Day, the 27th of April, we're used to gathering in numbers for Back to the City. But because of lockdown and because the president has us in jail, we can't really be out and about. However, Back to the City has put together a lot of incredible stuff. One of the big things is the producer battle that is happening this evening at 7 p.m. And I have the fortune, the luck, and the honor of speaking to one of the greatest, and that would be Dome. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good, Aziz.
I'm good too. So how are you feeling about tonight? How ready are you? Are you nervous? Are you anxious? Or are you just good to go?
My goodness, I'm glad that I bought a lot of tissues and diapers. Because right now I don't know what I'm doing to myself right now. But otherwise, I'm good.
So what made you decide to be a part of this huge production?
In all honesty, man, it's as if like the whole hip hop movement. I've always been one part of it or another. You know what I'm saying? Most of the guys that actually are the bones of this of the industry. You know, I've worked with. You know what I'm saying? So being a part of it is like almost like it's almost like another day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, but this one is kind of special because it's a special time. You know what I mean? It's a special time in human history. So it's actually quite dope to be actually part of this.
What is it that we can expect from you today? I mean, we've had the fortune of hearing your genius on a number of different projects over the years. And as you're saying, today is different and special. So what is it that you're going to be bringing tonight? No,
the thing is that as of now, right, I'm bringing something very like your familiars, because like that's the whole thing, just to remind people exactly where we come from. But also a couple of new joints as well, you know what I'm saying? But then obviously it's gonna come with the interaction that me and Tasso are gonna bring, because it's not so much as a battle as like, yo, you know, Capitan, what's up? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like yeah, sharing a stage with the legend, my G.
So don't, if you had to think of hip hop as a human body, which part of the body would you say you are and why?
Look, I would, if I was feeling some other kind of way, you know what I'm saying, if things were normal, I'd be like, yeah, man, I'd be the penis. But then, but then these days I represent a little bit more of the hunger, you know what I mean? Like the stomach, like my music is more of, it's not polished. It's not meant to like be cerebral or anything. It's more like, okay, move your waistline, you know, get your money in, and you know, things to make a regular person wake up in the morning. You know what I'm saying? This is not like, my music isn't the smell the flowers type of music. You know what I mean? My music is more. More your deal with the hot with the harsh stuff of life, but then enjoy yourself while doing it. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how can I put it? Like sprinkling sugar on ish. You know?
Talk to me about working with Pro.
With Pro,
yeah.
Now, when it comes to Pro, right? Anybody that has worked with him will tell you very easily that he becomes the song. You know what I'm saying? It's very easy to work with somebody who has genuinely, like first of all, lived through his own experience. So it's not a matter of writing down lyrics; it's about putting together thoughts. You know what I'm saying? So he doesn't write lyrics; he just puts together all the things that he's gone through, either during the day or during the week. And then when he started releasing albums, it was during like half a year. So when it came down to actually doing the album, he'd be like, "I'm Nandi boy." Or maybe at the most he chill at the corner and just try to think about things that he hasn't written before.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So he was an extreme, like, when you say talent, you mean it in terms of like somebody who just came, like who, you know, who just started and then whatever. But then I think Linda had a human element, a human sponge about him. Where like if you chilled with him for like more than 30 minutes or something, and he was a quiet guy, so you talk and talk and talk. By the time he's done, you probably have a song. That's why, like, 2 months down the line, you're jamming to it like you made it.
Yeah.
And you probably did.
So I was having a conversation with a friend of mine the other day, and we came to the realization with a friend of mine, and we came to this realization that it seems like on Pro's albums and projects, Okare, every track 2, I think it was produced by you, with every track 3 being produced by Omen. Was that ever something that was intentional, or are we reaching there?
I wouldn't call it so much as a reach, because at that time, you know, as I'm saying, like we were battle orientated. Me, Amu, Omen, Don Juan, and other people to a certain extent. But then the rappers, we were battle driven. So usually we'd like get together one day and just have like a listening session, and like battle and then beat battle.
Dope.
And Pro would be there, and then he'd be there, and everybody would be like, yeah, you know, it was really harrowing. It was crazy. It was a crazy experience. Like the butterflies that you used to go through, everybody, you see all the throwing up that you're asking about? Yeah, it was done during those days. So it was crazy. There was some serious steel sharpening steel action going on there. Yeah. You know what I mean? So yeah. So when that was happening, like an artist like we do that for certain artists, even for Zulu Boy or for Thousand.
Yeah.
So even with Pro, it would be the same thing. So we get together. The beats would go in. Sometimes they'd fetch them from a house, but sometimes we'd go to the studio and all be there. And then the artist would then choose and select which kind of beat would come in first, second, or third. But then it would actually happen that way. Because somebody, like maybe an arm would always be like, yeah, I'll start first. And then he'll play. And then everybody will be like, okay, I got something for that ass. You know what I'm saying? So usually we play second or third. But then you wouldn't be grabbing at straws, but it was more it was a natural thing. It was a battle. It was a battle type of thing. It just so happens all the songs just ended up on the album.
So it is Freedom Day, right? So when was a time where hip hop made you feel the most free?
The most free? No, you know what? Hip hop made me the most free every single time that I would get into a club, and you know, it wouldn't be my intention, but the people that would be playing there, whether it was the artists, whether it was the DJ, or whether it was maybe the organizer, like then I knew them all. I knew the entertainment society, as it were, all of them. So I'd just wake up one day and say, I want to go to a club on Friday.
Yeah.
Land at a place, and then they'd be organizing that, and I'd get it for free. And then I'd go to a concert one day, and I'd be like, yo, son, I'm trying to pay at the door. They'd be like, yo, money's not good here.
Yeah,
and then I'd go to, you know what I'm saying, be stuck somewhere in the middle of somewhere, and then some nigga be like, hey, guy, get into the fucking car, let me take you home. You know what I mean?
Before I let you dip, any last words for tonight? Any trash talk for your opponent?
Trash talk to no. Hey, everybody, please, enjoy yourselves at home. You know what I'm saying? Catch up with the new vibe. We're gonna be doing this frequently. You know what I'm saying? Dom is here, Amos here, Tasso is here, everybody's here, my G, and I can't wait to hear everybody else's music. We can, we'll probably be the most alive people, if the world ever passes away and aliens come down. We will be the people that they actually listen to. So keep on making that fire. I love the old school. I love the new school. I love all of you cats. Hip hop forever.
The man who loves everybody and encompasses all the different elements of the body. That is, of course, Dome, one of the most versatile producers as well, letting us in on some of the processes that he would go through and how he made himself stand out in this culture that we love. Big shout out to you, Dome. Thank you so much. Still bringing you nothing but the best in hip hop right here on The Element, all for the love of hip hop, and we keep it rocking, real and relevant on Massive Metro. Now today would have been Back to the City, the huge festival. However, because we are locked down, we cannot come together in our numbers, but we can still celebrate our culture. And thanks to the good folks at Back to the City, there is so much going on today. One of the dope things that's happening is the big producer battle taking place this evening, and I have the honor of talking to Mr. Thasman on the line. How are you today?
I'm good. And yourself?
I'm good. A bit stressed because of everything that's going on today. Why Look,
I mean, it's Freedom Day today. That's number one. So yes, you must celebrate your freedom. At the same time, celebrate the hip-hop that Back to the City always brings through. So, hey, a lot has to happen. Back to the City has never been one of those things that starts at 7 and then it ends at 12. So it's a throughout the day kind of thing, So hey, embrace it.
So you just spoke about the fact that it's Freedom Day and hip hop and freedom. So off the bat, when have you felt your most free because of hip hop?
When I'm creative. You see, when I'm creative, I feel as free as possible, because when I'm being a creative, I can go anywhere, I can fit into the shoes of somebody else who's struggling. I can fit into the shoes of somebody else who's successful. I can fit in the shoes of somebody who would like to inspire others. So I feel I'm more freer when I'm being creative.
That's dope. And so we know you as one of the very, very key and prominent people who gave us the sound of motswako, right? Tell us about that time and how did everything come about? Okay, motswako is the vibe.
Not quite. I think we've been doing motswako for quite some time. I think I started falling into the love of motswako. I think it was 93, if I'm not mistaken. And ever since then we've been doing it. And I think around 93, 94, that's when we decided, no man, we're gonna do this Kastswana. And then as time went, that's when we decided we're gonna call this motswako. Why? Because we're fusing different elements of sound to come up with this hip hop feel of music. Hip hop holistically used to be hard. It used to be hardcore, and it used to be more about me dissing the next person. And we thought to ourselves, let's do hip hop in a sense that motivates others. It makes others feel good. It's no longer about I am, it's about we are. And that's why we created a movement that we were all in it together.
Tell me about some of your proudest moments during that time.
Look, when Bankubile Guntunga Horene Babakakana, it was one of my biggest songs. But then when you realize how deep hurt Jabba was when he created that song, because EMI or CCP was giving him a clearance. So, you no longer are artists. We don't think you are valuable. And he created that song. It was one of my biggest songs, So, but when you look at how it came about, that's where you start realizing that I did something that saved somebody's career, and at the same time, it created my own, So that is one of my proudest moments.
So, speaking of legacy, tonight you're going to be taking us on a journey going up against Dome. What can we expect?
Well, I think. Look, I would love people to sing along, reminisce about the good old days. Funny enough that I found a CEO saying to me, Tasso, your songs made me go through varsity,
Wow.
And today he's a CEO. He's like, anytime I want to do a party at my workspace, let's say a December kind of party,
yes,
I would want you guys to come there and perform those good old days songs, because those songs are the songs that made us go through, So I want people today to just enjoy and reminisce the good old days with the good old songs, classics.
I think we definitely will, because as you say, nothing but classics that have been the soundtrack for some of our fondest memories. So a big thank you to you. Looking forward to this evening and reminiscing with you.
Most definitely. Thank you.
You're still plugged into the rocking, real and relevant, The Element on Massive Metro. We're doing it all for the love of hip-hop. And today, being Freedom Day, is absolutely no different. We have realized over the years how hip-hop and freedom do align. And tonight, Back to the City is going to do something really, really incredible. We can't come together in our thousands and thousands and rock out at the festival. However, we have something incredible to look forward to tonight at 7 p.m. The biggest producers of South African hip-hop are going to go head-to-head with some of our favorite joints, soundtracks of some of our favorite memories. And I have got Omen on the line. Hello, how are you doing?
Hey, what's up? What's up, people?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Happy Freedom Day.
Hey, it's Freedom Day with no freedom.
But isn't freedom a state of mind?
We need both. Freedom from the physical and the mental. So it's a combination.
Okay, so since we're speaking about freedom, tell me, when have you felt your most free as a result of hip hop?
When I discovered it, initially when Battlekat, you are exposed to your typical genres, not that there's anything, wrong with them, but, it's when I discovered hip-hop, that's when a lot of things changed for me, seeing a bunch of friends just rhyming, and that was, like, kind of foreign to me. I was like, yo, what is it? What are you doing, and then I was introduced to the club, that was it. That was freedom to me, and ever since it's been like that, So that was freedom for me, definitely.
So that was freedom for you, definitely. Now tell me about being one of the key people to give us Soweto's hip hop sound.
Yeah. I wouldn't even call it the hip hop sound from Soweto. But yes, we are from Soweto, but it's a sound that changed the industry as well, that influenced the entire South African landscape, you know? So, but the sound was more aggressive, more like just bold, you know what I'm saying, more than anything, And me pairing up with Pro was just, that just enhanced that boldness, we complemented each other, and that's why it became what it did, So yeah, that was the sound, just being bold.
Tell me more about your working with Pro and some of your proudest moments with the two of you.
Yeah, definitely putting out that first album, knowing that, initially I had been working on some material for myself.
Yeah.
So there's a song I did with Pro called Open Wide. And it was exactly then when he was at Metro, kind of took liking to the song. And the song did very well, actually. Mm-hmm. But it did even better for Pro because Pro was on the song. And then all of a sudden the entire industry was scrambling to find this kid. Who is this kid? Because now I've just done this song that ended up on this national platforms. And then that's when the whole rush. It's crazy how from the time I put out that song and then 3 months later, Pro signed, we were working on the album with, it was such a crazy time that entire thing happened. And us, even the guys that ended up managing us and as a crew managing Pro and really doing things that were never, things that were never done in the industry at the time. Guys like Sid Mami and Sims, there were guys that we met through, the song itself, and they had booked me, and then I brought Pro on, and everything just kind of connected, So those are definitely.
So if you take a look at the evolution of SA hip hop production, what are your thoughts on it? Coming from the era that you are from and being a pioneer yourself and hearing what is being done right now and how it sounds right now. What are your thoughts on the way that the production has evolved in SA hip hop?
For me, there's one person that really comes into mind, and it feels like it almost like from especially Soweto, when you pass the baton and say, here's somebody who will take over the culture and the sound, and it's in good hands. And that person for me was Crazy, And I remember I had spoken to him on my podcast. I'd invited him, and for me, what he especially is doing is really amazing. The sound is in good hands. You know what I'm saying? Although it's very weird and intricate being South African. When I remember Trevor Noah did a joke once, he said, when here in South Africa, when the whole world goes left, we go right.
Yeah.
So it's a tricky balancing act to try and find yourself in the culture. It's almost like everybody's bipolar, especially in rap. So what do? You serve what the world is feeling, or do you try and appeal to South Africans? Which is not a bad thing. It's just obviously you also have to look at yourself from a global landscape. So it's very interesting and what these kids are doing now, and I love the fact that it was more harder for us. I mean, Pro used to be an English rapper predominant. We all used to rap in English predominantly, and be fluent. But he adapted and just really blew it up. Like that whole idea of just being authentic, being South African, but still maintaining yourself and the skill. So moving from rapping in English to, vernacular, but still doing it in such a way that is impeccable, that you're not even losing the skill. Because a lot of people, it's very hard to transfer, the vocabulary from rapping in English and then now so rapper, it's guys. That is, if you're not used to something like that and you're trying to convey whatever it is that you're trying to convey to your audience, it's not an easy thing. And, that's always, Pro's strength as well. So for me, that's the only dilemma, but I don't think it is right now. These kids don't care. They just, if I rap in English, that's it. And the market has kind of caught on to that, So people don't even have to compromise anymore, for a lack of a better word. So guys are just being themselves, and I think we're moving now slowly. But we'll get them, and I think we'll find it's just the most, that fine balancing act, you know what I'm saying? But the whole world is looking, and South African hip-hop, and especially our rappers, our producers, are actually incredible. So I think it's just a matter of finding the right people to support us from, the structures, and us just pushing and putting in enough resources, for people like Abo Shoma Jones, Abo Java, and look at Nasty C now, what he's doing,
Yes.
So we need all of that kind of intervention so that we can also kind of export the sound. It is exportable, you know what I'm saying?
And so tonight we are seeing you going up against Amu. How are you feeling, and what can we expect? Do we have a little trash talk, or is it all just love and respect?
Amu, he's a trash talk. I bring the work speaks for itself, and I've got a bag of fireworks. I'm always chilled, man.
The man who calls himself, or would have himself be thought of as the mind within the body of hip-hop, Oza the chef, going up against Amu the principal tonight. All love, all respect, and taking us down a nostalgic trip of a beautiful hip-hop. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for all the amazing music that you have made for us over the years.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you for everybody that's been listening.
So today is a very, very incredible and important day, Freedom Day in South Africa, but also Hip Hop Day, Back to the City Day. We would be out in our thousands and celebrating all the dope hip hop in our country, all the different elements of it. But because of the lockdown, we have to stay put. But the good folks at Back to the City have brought us Back to the City online. And one of the parts of that is the producer battle that is happening this evening at 7 p.m. I've spoken to Dome, I've spoken to Thasman, and I've also spoken to Omen. And right about now, I am going to get the principal on the line.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Sharp, sharp.
How you feeling? How you doing? Are you happy? Are you whatever? Happy Freedom Day.
I'm whatever.
Why are you whatever? We are so excited about this amazing thing that you are all doing today. Why are you whatever?
Another day.
It's just another day.
Just another day in hip hop.
Just another day in hip hop. All right. So why did you agree to be a part of this epic battle that we're going to see happening this evening?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't want to do it because when I started to see these battles happening online,
Yeah.
First I didn't like the quality,
Yeah.
on Insta. So ours from Back to the City convinced me to do it, you know. And when he told me that I'll have to do it with Omen, I was like, okay, cool, that's my home. Like, that will be beautiful, you know.
Yeah.
And we both come from the pickup days, and we both used for protein, you know what I mean, and Flabber, and, you know, and we grew up together from Soweto, so I figured, why not? Like, you know.
Well, thank you to us for convincing you, and thank you to you for actually agreeing to be a part of it. Now, what are your thoughts on the way that the evolution of South African hip hop production has taken place? Because it's at a very, very different place than it was during the height of the golden era, I would say, of our production in the country. So what are your thoughts on the way that it's evolved to how it sounds today?
I'll tell you this, Mike. I'm glad you asked me about the production and rapping.
Yeah.
I'm more proud of the production, you know, in some instances. And for me, I cannot beat what the kids are doing. That's what we were fighting for, you know? Back in the day, we were fighting for hip-hop to be commercial and to be recognized by the industry. For these reasons where a kid from whatever South Africa be part of the game, you know, and with music. You know? So I can't sit here and tell the kids how to rap.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's the game is in their hands, you know. So if I make music for my audience.
Yeah.
So, boy, you know what they always want, you know. So, yeah, I really don't have a problem with. There are some things that I have a problem with. But even back in that day, in the golden era, there was a lot of things I had a problem with. But for now, I'm just with hip hop.
Yeah.
People are making money. I can't have a problem with that.
And speaking of people making money, I mean, you are a very, very key part of that, you know, the commercialization of it as well. What was that like for you? I mean, you did so much, and at the time, you know, it was for you and the people around you, but you've had such a huge impact on what's happening today.
That was the whole point.
Yeah.
You know, when you say the founder's curse, a lot of us have the founder's curse, you know. You're not going to necessarily reap the rewards as the founder.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have to find other ways where some of us kids, you know, I mean, we're not struggling. You know, some of us still make good money.
Mm-hmm.
But majority of the old school are not doing that well financially. But it's part of the game, unfortunately. You know what I mean? But to me, 25 years later, and if no one was making money, then that would have been a bigger problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll be like, I've got this battle scar. We fought for this thing. There's no way. That would have hurt. You know?
And I mean,
to see kids making it, that's great.
Yeah. And you speak of battle scars, and I think one of the notable battle scars that you have is you know, a time where you were ostracized for, you know, repping where you're from, ripping and rapping in your tongue, and not necessarily emulating the sound of the States at that particular time. And then you got ostracized, but then people that came after you, it was like, yeah, we're hailing them. What does that do to you?
You see, the ostracizing actually came from the hip-hop. Hip hop shit, you know? And I just really got me because I saw the bigger picture. And back then we were all in a small bubble. We were all rapping to each other.
Yeah.
We're not and having friends that are not into hip hop.
Yeah.
You know. And I need to bring these people into this and that was my aim. And I toned down the rapping a bit, just to accommodate a lot of people. And it was, you know, because like I said, to the next generation, We have, and I think people forget with I was actually I think the first one was a music video from the motherland. It should, if I think about it.
Actually.
I was actually the first one. You know?
Yeah.
People say, yeah, people do know what's the first red video. I'm like, yeah, but the song was in English. You know, so I think I was the first one with like a commercial in actually 95, yeah. Actually.
So before I let you dip, actually, the man, when has hip hop made you feel your most free?
That's now. Because for the first time, the past since I'd say 2011, 2012, I haven't really done music, you know. I was just a consumer of music in my life. And feel free because there's nothing to do. I'm just enjoying each of our lives. And just watching guys do their thing, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's the freest, most free of it right now.
Right now.
Yeah, right now. I don't have to compete with anybody. Yeah.
That's pretty dope. Well, thank you so much for your time, the principal. And we look forward to what is going to go down tonight. Any final words? Any words for Omen? Any trash talk? Any parting words of wisdom?
The sad part about it is none of that is going to happen. We're doing it for hip hop.
Yes.
Honestly, we're doing it for hip hop. I know that the word battle is and the Omen versus album.
Yes.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a show. What I say to people is, yo man, let's put that stuff. Let's take people back. And let's dedicate this one to, you know, kids, we have our WC and you know, cats like that, you know.
I hear that. No trash talk, just love and respect.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, we'll have our little but that's family, man. Omen is family, so you know, we just want to stay in touch with the music.
Alrighty, and we'll be out there 7 p.m. on BackToTheCityFestival.com, checking out all the love and all the respect, and doing it for all the right reasons, which is the love of hip hop. A big thank you to you, and we'll catch you later. Peace. So I've spoken to Dome, I've spoken to Thasman, I've spoken to Omen, and I just got off the phone with Amu, the principal, and I'm about to get Nyambz on the line. Nyambz is going to talk to me. Let us see if he's ready. Let us do the right things.
Hello.
Hello, Nyambz.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
How?
How? Why? What's going on? What's going on today?
Old age.
But why? You should be super excited. We are so excited for you. We are so excited for what you're going to do for us later today. We're excited to talk to you. Wow. Why is that a problem?
Because people have expectations.
How?
You know, like when people have like a concert they're going to, an artist they like, and they want to hear certain songs.
Yeah.
And then the artist now plays new songs that nobody knows. And everybody's upset.
Is that what you're going to do tonight?
Unfortunately.
Why? Why is that the thinking and approach tonight?
What would that be?
Why is that the thinking and the approach for tonight?
I think it's more just going through the catalog and trying to see what we have. I don't really have access to the old stuff that I would have liked to play.
Why is that?
So I just need to like make a plan.
Okay, but we know that there's some dope stuff that you've done on the Ape tape. We can hear that tonight as well, right? Maybe.
Oh my goodness.
No?
Not particularly. See, that's kind of like
what you were
part of
talking
the change
about.
because I started a company called The Studio Next Door around 2008-9, and I've got a team of producers that I work with. So so I think what the guys want is us to play stuff from before that.
Yeah.
So like trying to find the stuff from before that is a bit difficult.
All right. But I mean, the truth of the matter is we'll take what we can get. That's really as far as our influence is going to go.
Well, that's gonna have to do. Let's see. I hope people will share that sentiment later on.
I'll rally them for you. Now, Nyambz, you have a lot of names. You have names such as the architect of the Pretoria sound, the designer of that sound in that particular time. Tell me a little bit more about it and how you feel about that.
False. Fake news.
Fake news.
Fake news.
What's the real?
I think sometimes, not everybody has their time in the sun. So when I moved to Pretoria, we did a lot of work, and we had a very strong hustle, trying to get on radio shows. We had a strong online presence. And so all these things contributed to us and, the people that I was moving with to be more in the sun. But Pretoria always had versatility. It had a lot of guys doing stuff. We had like a big variety of sounds. So I think it was just I was known for the sound that got out. But to say that was the only thing that was going on in the city is a bit unfair to the guys that were actually there before me and doing stuff.
So what would you then say was your role in that whole era and in that whole sound? If you're saying that it's not just me, there are a lot of other people who are doing a lot of great work before I got there.
Yeah, I think it's just the coordination of the stuff, because we used to have radio shows at PUT. So basically what we did is everybody wanted to go to Joburg before we started, moving. So we decided to create our own ecosystem where we had our own radio stations, where we had our own shows. We had shows at the State Theatre. We had a radio show on, at the campus station, and we had a strong online presence. So we looked very self-contained. We looked like we didn't need the rest of the city. So that was very important in creating the perception that people now got that, okay, these are guys that we should know about. But we were now going to radio stations asking them for interviews or for them to play our songs or whatever, because we had our own system in place.
So looking at the evolution of South African hip hop production, how would you narrate that, and how do you feel about where it's sitting right now?
I've always felt like the hip hop production in the country was always the strongest aspect of hip hop. I think like maybe the rappers and DJs might not enjoy that statement, but I've always felt like the producers were always competitive on a world stage. I think it was always the only challenge that we had was differentiating ourselves from the rest in terms of like signature sounds, and like for example in the States you'd have a Dr. Dre. You'd have a particular sound. You'd have a DJ Premier. He has a particular sound. And, I have a RZA, he has a particular sound. So we kind of had that in our era. Like I had a particular sound. Battlekat had a particular sound. Amo had a particular sound. Thasman had a particular sound. And I think over the time, we've lost that. And it's not even just local, it's global. It's very hard to be able to say who produced what, unless you hear a tag in the beginning saying Michael made it.
Yes, that's true.
You don't really know exactly who produced and what. But the talent level is just top notch. You have guys like, Ganja Beats, the Tweezies, SP Dub. Like there's so many like dope guys out now that, that can produce for anybody in the world, basically.
Yeah.
I think the only thing we need to do is just start getting like a more signature sound thing going.
Now, word on the street is, as a producer, you're very, very particular about who you will work with. The word is that if they can't rap, you ain't about it. Is that true?
No, fake news. Fake news.
So where does that come from? Why do people have that perception of you?
I don't know. I really don't know. Like, I think because I'm a bit reclusive, I think, that you don't really see me out too much.
Mm-hmm.
So I think maybe people then come up with their own stories. I know, like in the beginning, like people felt like I wasn't approachable.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'm the most approachable person that you'll find. Like I respond to all my emails, all my inboxes, and whatnot. Like if somebody's ready to work,
mm-hmm.
I'm happy to work with them.
And when you do approach your work, what kicks it all off for you? What's the process for you?
They have to differentiate it, because that was part of the challenge for me for today's battle, is because I moved from being the producer
mm-hmm.
to being the businessman, like where I look for the production placements, I look for the production opportunities for the team.
Mm-hmm.
And now to go back to a battle sort of thing is a bit weird, because I haven't had a producer hat in a long time. So for the most part, like people will hit me up and they'll be looking for production, and I'll try and determine what their production needs are, and try and match them with the producer on the roster. Alternatively, I will go out and I will approach people to work with. Like if I see an opportunity, I'll then put together like a bit of a proposal and engage people. So
now the producer versus
proactive and reactive.
The producer versus the businessman. Which hat have you found to enjoy the most or feels the most natural to you?
This one, the business side, has always appealed to me. Even back in the day, I was never really like a Timberland type of guy that wants to produce a whole album.
Yeah.
I'd always look at what the album needs. Like maybe I'd be working with Black Les and I'd be like, okay, we need a 13 beat, or we need to call Hype because in Cape Town, because he's got a particular sound.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always keen on like building on a network, like. So this makes more sense for me. It's more enjoyable for me to actually put together projects. So I've always enjoyed the executive producer type of role more than the actual nitty-gritty.
All right, so before I let you go, it is Freedom Day. When have you felt your most free as a result of hip-hop or within hip-hop?
Most free?
Mm-hmm.
Give me an example.
I can't give you an example.
Have you asked somebody before? What did they say?
It's different for everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so let me hear what somebody has said.
BattleKat notes.
Then I can say.
BattleKat notes. No. Well, maybe let's start with what is freedom to you in general? Your concept or idea or understanding of freedom.
Well, I think for me it's just being able to really exist, to actually be comfortable and present in yourself, and not being able to buckle under the pressure of what people expect. Or for example, I don't feel free today because I know that people want me to play certain songs, and I don't know if I want to play those songs.
Right.
So I feel a bit of peer pressure, so I'm not feeling free today. But there's an album that I'm working on now. Somebody poached me out of retirement and made me produce their whole album. We're about 60% in, and that's kind of like free because I'm able to express the way I want to.
Yeah.
And it's I think it makes me. I'm very proud of the work. So I think that's a good example of something that makes me free musically now. Like I'm not struggling to match what I used to do back in the day.
Yeah.
Because that was a big obstacle. It's like, okay, people are going to expect this, and you don't want to stray from that. You want to give them what they're used to. But at some point, I was able to shed that and actually be like, you know what, let me just do this project the way it is now, the way I am now.
Yeah, but then how do you make peace with that? How do you make peace with, okay, this is what people might want, but this is what feels right and true and makes the most sense to me? And how do you align the two or make sense of the two? Because the two don't necessarily align all the time.
No, not at all. I think for me, the main thing is to try and make sure that you do it 100%.
Mm-hmm.
So I think with everything in life, I think once you've given something your all, and you know that you didn't leave anything on the table, however people perceive it is not as hurtful as if you know that you didn't give it your all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if you're in a relationship with somebody and you didn't give your all and it ended, you know, there's a little bit of
regret.
You know, yeah. But if you know that you did your best to buy that person, and it still didn't work out, then it's a bit easier to walk away.
All right. So final words before we plug in tonight and see you going up against Battlekat.
Sorry, I'm dogs. I hope you guys enjoy it. Like, I want to have fun. I want to take you guys on a bit of a journey. You know, I'd like to kind of take people to where it began.
Okay.
And kind of like maybe just take people on a journey to where we are now. So hopefully people won't be too disappointed. I hope they enjoy the conversation, the music, and let's have fun. We're not getting paid for it, so.
Nyambz.
So like,
you're doing it for the love. You're doing it for the love of hip hop.
Yeah, that thing.
That thing.
That thing that I want to tell the banks.
A big shout out to Nyambz for plugging in. We don't know what we're going to be hearing tonight, but definitely going on a journey. And thank you for taking the time to chat to us. And we'll catch you tonight at 7 p.m.
100%. Thank you so much.
All right. Peace. Good luck.
Thank you.
Ciao. Microphone Sweet Home taking us to 17 minutes before we hit 3 o'clock and get out of here. At 3 o'clock, we make way for DJ Sboo on DJ Sboo Live. He's coming through from 3 until 6 p.m. But until then, we're doing it all for the love of hip hop right here on The Element, keeping it rocking, real, and relevant. So today is the 27th of April. It is Freedom Day for the usuals, the normal people. But for us hip hop heads, it is Back to the City Day. It is Hip Hop Day. And normally we would be out and about, gathering in the throngs and really, really representing and appreciating our culture. But because of the lockdown, we have to stay put. But Back to the City has put together some incredible stuff for us today, kicked off at 2 p.m. and going all the way until 2 a.m. by the looks of things. At 7 o'clock this evening, we are going to watch some of the biggest South African hip-hop producers going up against each other. The likes of Dome going against Thasman, Omen going against Amu, and then Nyambz going against Battlekat. And I've spoken to Omen, Dome, Thasman, Amu, and Nyambz. There is one more person left to go. Let us see if we can get Battlekat on the live. Oh, sounds like he's on another call. Oh, it's tricky. It's ringing. Oh.
Hello.
Hello there, Battlekat.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Yo, man, the phone was ringing for so long. I was like, and then what happened?
Did it ring? Did it take too long?
It took a bit. Did it ring like one time on your side?
Like twice.
Really? No, and I
For
said
real.
it was like doing that engaged type of ring, and then I was like, but I just spoke to the man now. What's going on? And then you
Maybe
answered.
it was, on your side, it was still traveling on a thing.
Nah, maybe because of the excitement, it was just like, okay, let me try and creep up on this man. But you were ready. How you feeling? How you doing today?
I'm good, and well,
That's cool.
I don't know. Like I'm excited at the same time. I don't know if I'm nervous. I can't describe the feeling.
Why? Why would you possibly have nerves?
Well, I've been okay actually throughout, like since the announcement of the challenge, you know. But now that the day is here, it's I don't know.
You know,
but I think it's just.
You guys are so funny. All of you in J. All of you. I guess yeah, I guess I don't know. It's what I want versus what people want. No, turn to be excited. We are showing up for you guys. Like, re ready. Why was it ready?
No, get ready. Like the excitement is there. I think, you know, it's like with even performing artists.
Right.
I think with every show, I think that nervous or that little anxiety before the show still exists.
Right.
In every artist, you know. So yeah, but it's not intense, you know.
All right. So what do we do to deal with that? You know, put us on game, because people in general just get nervous about things that matter to them, right? So how are you dealing with the anxiety, the nervousness, the excitement, all of it? How are you going to get yourself together to put on the performance of a lifetime this evening? How sure?
I think I don't have a routine that I do or a meditation process or whatever. Like I think eventually, when the time come and thing is on, it just goes away, you know. But the one thing that I know is that we're gonna have fun with Nyambz, you know, because I mean it's not like we don't communicate. Like I'm still working with Nyambz, we're still working on songs, so I trust by the time the whole thing starts. Mm-hmm. I'll be fine.
Okay.
But I don't have a routine.
All right. So we trust you. We trust your process, and we trust that you'll have everything in tow and ready for us this evening. Now, it is Freedom Day. So tell me about a time where you felt really, really free because of hip hop.
I suppose it's like the earlier, you know, times when my, you know, music career began.
Yeah.
I think having had the opportunity to work for Outrageous Records, it was something beyond a dream, because when I was in high school, I never envisioned that I knew I was going to be making music or doing sound for media companies, but I didn't envision being hired to make hip-hop music. And I had the most creative freedom ever in the world. Like I defined most of the albums based on what I wanted to create and you know what the artists would agree with what I'd suggest.
Yeah.
But I think that was the one time I was most free.
Tell me about the most memorable and or sentimental period, and the kind of music that you made during that period, and why it stands out for you.
The one that remains, that's still very monumental to me, is when I got the opportunity to do a collaboration with the late, or rather the great
Yes.
with Nyambz and Ras Khan. So I think that experience till this day, like it's still unbelievable, you know. And I think even when he passed on, man, like it really hit me hard. But at the same time, you know, I celebrate that I came to be. I was honored to be among those who got to brush shoulders with him. So I think that moment was the most monumental, but generally, like the entire path of working with both Proverbs, Pro Kid, Jabba, it's been great. The whole path.
Yeah. Now you have a lot of versatility, and you pioneered a particular place and a particular sound of that particular place, and we've watched the evolution of hip hop in general, but also the evolution of hip hop production, and it's taken so many different turns and sounds and created so many different memories for so many different people. How do you feel about the way that SA hip hop production has evolved and your role in it?
I suppose since the beginning that's been the plan, and even with me as an individual, I constantly learn and evolve. I suppose the world, it's the nature of how life proceeds. That there was, when we're speaking in life, there was a time where there was no electricity, and then as time goes on, and the mind gets exposed to different things, you can't help but evolve. So I think the more, even now that the technology in terms of music softwares and hardware and sample packs is way more easier to actually produce than back then, where we didn't, like, internet that we have and what we can access now through the internet wasn't as accessible then. So I think that the evolution right now is really giving even a lot of even kids that before, it's not really just oriented around being that mainstream artist, and for you to in order to embrace being an artist, you have to go mainstream. But I think this era just gives an opportunity for everybody to even learn. Even information to learn how to make beats is just at the tip of our fingers, like literally, like just going onto YouTube and say, how do you EQ a primo snare, or whoever that one would be an understudy of, So I think we really at a, like, the current generation is really at a most privileged position, in regards to music production.
Do you think that that kind of accessibility that you just spoke about, just being able to YouTube a tutorial or Google how to EQ this and just look up something as easily as we can now, do you think that that has kind of made there be less respect for the craft, and do you think that the value of production is still what it used to be?
Hey, it depends. It depends on how, like, different perspectives see it. But for me, I think if one can create something like, okay, there are cheats, right? That you can get, where you just get a drum, like you just Google Drake drum pattern, and you get the Drake drum pattern, and Google whatever sample without having to even compose anything. I suppose, to a degree, it really tarnishes the trueness of coming from one creating something that is authentically them, and experimenting, and presenting something that's new, So I think that the detriment about the current age is that, and even where you'd find some production with many other producers, it's not distinguishable anymore. It's like, okay, you, by listening to someone, you're like, okay, I know which one. You're like, okay, I know which one. You're like, okay. And he's using the very same sample packs as that other guy, and they are using the very same sounds, and So I suppose, yes, there is a disadvantage, but if there's still people who, insist on being authentically creative.
Yeah.
And even with the sample packs, like I know with me, even with the sample packs that I would buy, I would still filter them and just to create a different sound out of what anybody could just get and just use that, because that's what I keep in mind, that if I'm going to use the sound like this, the pack is probably bought by 20 million other producers
and
throughout the world. So
out.
if I use it exactly as is, and there's 20 million other beats that are going to come out like that. So I insist on just changing the sound and just getting it to a place where it resonates with my kind of approach and style in production.
All right, so before I let you dip, what can we expect tonight? You're going up against Nyambz, your bro. You guys are working on stuff together, but they've pitted you against each other like you guys are going to fight. So is that what's going to happen, or what can we expect from tonight?
I suppose from the view of spectators,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be viewed as that. If for the past week, I've even been avoiding social media because sometimes I'll get on and I'll see a post talk about Nyambz is gonna kill he's gonna damage his career or whatever, or Nyambz or other people would be saying the same thing about Nyambz, and like that's how hip hop views are. Like the people have a greater competitive view when it comes to hip hop. But I've been talking with Nyambz actually, and our thing was really to just share our journey, like a lineage of people that we've come to work with, and just take this opportunity as a platform to tell our story. And
that's really all we can ask for from you. Thank you so much. We will catch you tonight. See if you're going to body him or if he's going to body you. No, I'm kidding.
You started with that spectator mentality.
I will be a spectator this evening, and I can't wait to see and hear your beautiful story. Thank you so much. Enjoy your Freedom Day, and we'll catch you tonight.
All right. Yeah. It's going to be a great night, I trust.
All right. Peace.
Peace.